Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. A massive logistical activity took place with a Dutch bank locating $12 billion in gold bullion to a temporary location, and then sooner or later it'll be relocated to a new permanent home. Let's explore! Yeah, several members of the community sent me some stories about this massive undertaking about the Der Nederlandse Bank relocating all of this gold. Pretty amazing indeed. And there we see an image of the bank, and here's one more image here showing the bank and the movement of the gold here. It really was the gold standard of road trips. The Netherlands Central Bank transported its Dutch-based stock of gold, 14,000 bars and about 1,000 boxes of gold coins, from its headquarters in Amsterdam to a safe in a nearby city of Haarlem in a meticulously and closely guarded operation that ended Saturday. The bank said in a statement, per the AP, along with the bullion worth about $11.7 billion, the bank also shifted bills worth another $5.3 billion in the operation that was led by the Royal Dutch Military Police. The cash and gold traveled about 12.5 miles in trucks guarded by the armed military police motorcycle outriders, and with a police helicopter hovering overhead. The operation started Friday and ended Saturday afternoon. The military police said in a statement that the carefully planned operation went smoothly and safely. The move comes ahead of renovations of the central bank's Amsterdam offices and the permanent move of the gold and bank bills to a vault that has yet to be built in the central town of Zeist. The Dutch central bank doesn't store all of its gold in the Netherlands. It has also large reserves stored in the US, Britain, and Canada. And again, here's that picture. So very fascinating indeed. And here is a story from the Dutch press that shows the activity here. And this particular video shows some of the transport that had occurred. And you can see the vehicles coming down here. There it is. That truck is carrying gold right there, moving along. So was that one. And this one here is probably, well, that might just be a regular transport truck, but or it could be the gold. Who knows? But nonetheless, it's fascinating to see. And there's a police escort there. So fascinating to see this happen. And of course, no one knew because there's nothing in the press about what was happening here. We don't want to give anybody any indication of the activity that was going on there, understandably so. Then we have from their Twitter feed this video that shows and talks about what happened as well there. I think you open up the vault, and there's the gold inside of the vault. There's shelvings look familiar. That's exactly what the Royal Mint uses as well, the Bank of England, I mean, to store their gold. You can see it's packed up there. And that's a little video showing what happened there. Then we go back to this story, and they've got actually a pretty good story. I don't know Dutch, so I'm going to leave the sound down on this one, but you can see all of the gold in place here and in the facility. Fascinating indeed. Special type of reinforced shelving, and that's why the gold is shaped the way it is, by the way, too. And notice how it's stacked in the center in a certain way. You can see this gentleman picking up the gold bar there. Fascinating indeed. You can tell how heavy that bar is. Placing it down and moving it back correctly into position there. He does, he scoots it in there. Then we see this lady here who works at the bank going in and showing. It looks like it's relatively easy access there. It looks like to her, but of course that whole facility is probably locked very carefully. But you can see how those shelves are built to be able to withstand that load and widen it out and spread it out accordingly. There is the bank there, Nendedosh Bank. I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I'm sure. There is a vehicle to guard it there. And that is the central bank of the Netherlands there. Fascinating indeed. You see the cameras and stuff outside. So a lot of security at the facility. There's the gold bars. See, that one is dated 2003. And you can see there's the statistics for the gold. 176, I guess, something thousand kilos, perhaps. And then the euro price. You can see there's a facility where it will eventually be moved to, I guess, temporarily, as I'm guessing, potentially. And then it will have a new home, or it could be the renovated new home that will be had. You see the reinforced walls there. Maybe that is the new place. I'm not sure, but that is probably to guard it, to have it up there so it cannot be penetrated during that time. And I'm sure she's probably talking about the movement, the logistics, and what will take place as it's made its move into that facility. Look how that fence is guarded. Look at that, these sharp spikes. People are gonna have a hard time getting over that, for sure. Yes, indeed. Fascinating. So that must be the temporary holding facility. Look at the surveillance there, to where the gold will be stored in Haarlem, with 2 A's for the pronunciation of that. And this shows the location and how it will be. It'll be at a temporary location, their holding pattern in Haarlem, then eventually move to its permanent facility in Zeist, as you see there. And here we can see the trucks moving in and out. Doldersweg Camp New Amsterdam there. And we're looking at the facility and how it is secured as you enter in and out of the grounds there, as this lady is being interviewed from the bank. So very interesting indeed. It's not very often you hear of stories like this about movement in such a large amount of gold. The central bank's holding for one nation. And just goes to show you how valuable gold is. When the central banks hold it, well, we should hold it too. That's why we like to be our own central banks here. And we are secure too. Where we hold our gold too, we should be. And so be very cautious and careful out there with the gold that you have in your possession. Practice common sense safety measures, both to protect your home, but also to protect the storage of the gold by storing it off-site. I strongly recommend that. Find a family member or friends that you can trust explicitly, and other areas and places you can store the gold that are quite clever. And Cybercurtain Twitcher has done a video on that, if you do need to store it in your home. But I would suggest finding other ways to do that. I'm very fortunate to have been able to do that, and not many people have that ability. But I would suggest you network as much as you can with your friends and family to provide that, to make sure that you're completely safe and that no one knows. Even if they know you have gold, they know it's not on your person, not in where your location is. And that way you are protected by that layer of security. Strongly recommended. Security cannot be emphasized enough when you hold precious metals, for sure. You should have very little on you at where you're at most of the time, because then you set yourself up for vulnerability. Also encourage you to have a security surveillance system, as I do, most others do. It's always good to have security surveillance, and actually that's one way you can possibly get savings on your homeowner's insurance for theft. And when you do that, it's always good to have security, and have the security cameras be able to wide angle so you can see everything, high resolution, both in and outside of the house, just to be safe. Not only, I don't do it necessarily for the precious metals, but just for safety. It's always good to have safety. And as you saw in this video clip here, we saw a lot of these the cameras out there. But even if you don't have gold in your location, which I don't, you have security just to protect yourself. It's always good to do, and the prices, a lot of that stuff have come down so much you can really overdo it in some ways with a lot of security to be able to see so much of the property, and inside and outside. And the other thing too is to not tell but a select few people that you trust and that you have your precious metals. That's you want to be very careful who you tell. So there you go. There you have it. But fascinating indeed. And the logistics of this is quite fascinating and how they did this. And thanks again to the several members of the community who sent this along to me. Post your thoughts below. Fascinating indeed. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video. And encourage you to please rate. And I do mean that. Yes, I do. I'm not just saying that just to say it. I know I end all the videos with it. But I really am desirous of that activity, pressing that little thumbs up button. It really does help, and I do appreciate you guys doing that. And then comment. I am certainly interested in hearing your thoughts about this video and any of the other security measures you would suggest. And then to share the video. Very important part of that call to action is to share it among other social media platforms. It certainly does help get the word out there. I think especially something like this when it comes to logistics and security is worth sharing. And then finally, subscribe. Yes, indeed. It certainly does please my heart when there's new subscribers, because the subscribers you see in the channel, I don't really talk about subscribers much on my channel, mainly because most of the subscribers that you see on my channel are old, or they basically have gone, or some of them are from double accounts, or some of them. So when you see the number of subscribers I have, I appreciate all the ones that are actually engaged in watching the video, but it's a number mostly, I would say probably about 75% of those that are subscribed to me either aren't on YouTube anymore, or have just abandoned, or don't watch the channel. And so I appreciate the new subscribers, and encourage you all to stay engaged, and it's a wonderful community here. A multitude of gratitude to you all.